Gil Michelini is a husband of over 25 years and is a proud father of 4 daughters. Over his career, Gil has been involved in every aspect of corporate training. He's currently an instructional designer for public assistance training programs. Originally from Chicago, Illinois, but a fan of the Green Bay Packers, please join me in welcoming Gil to the Spark stage tonight.
Thank you, Chris. Whenever 2 or more people are gathered together and they're having a conversation about somebody, but the person that they're talking about is not there, and the way they're talking about this person is to tear them down rather than building them up, that, my friends, is called gossip. And it's one of the most destructive forms of conversation that people can have. And unfortunately, for a lot of Americans, it's one of their best forms of entertainment. Now, as a recovering gossiper, it's my job here tonight to kind of fill you in on how gossipers think and maybe even give you some tips on how to prevent gossip in the future. At my day job, if I want to find out what's going on, I go down to where the smokers gather, because that's where you can get the best information. I can find out how Dick really screwed up something again and how stupid Jane really is. Now, of course, I always brought down the best information on Mary. It was so much fun. I mean, my confidence was really built because I realized that any little mistake I would make was not nearly as bad as what they did. I can't tell you exactly when it occurred, but I had an epiphany that the person I was becoming by being a gossiper was not somebody I wanted my daughters to be proud of. So I stopped gossiping, and I stopped going down to where the gossipers gathered. But let me tell you, it was so hard. I mean, gossiping it's addictive. It's like something you want to do. And I just seen Joey make the biggest mistake ever, and I had nobody to tell. But the longer I stayed away from gossip, the better I felt about myself. But even more important, the more I respected my coworkers, because I realized that their faults and their mistakes were not any worse than my faults or my mistakes. Now, I knew I had hit it really big on the road to recovering as a gossiper when I heard from somebody else that I was now the subject of gossip. And that's one thing that you have to realize about gossipers, because if they'll talk to you about somebody, eventually they're going to be talking about you. Now, fortunately, our friends at Rotary International have given the world some tremendous gifts. And one thing that they've given us is the 4-way test of the things we think, say, and do. And when I was a member of Rotary, and I learned this, they say at the end of each one of their meetings, it really inspired me. So what I want to do is encourage you to take the 4-way test of any information that you get and decide whether or not you should pass it on or if it's gossip. So you get this little piece of information. First, is it true? Is there anything in this piece of information that could be wrong, a lie, maybe an exaggeration? If so, throw it away. Is it fair to all concerned? Does this information accurately describe everyone who's involved in the situation? If so, go ahead and pass it on. Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Or will passing on this information build malice and discontent? Throw it away. And finally, is it beneficial to all concerned? Will the world be a better place because I passed on this information? Those are the decisions that the 4-way test can help you in deciding whether or not to pass on some gossip. So my friends, when people are talking disparagingly about other people, it's called gossip, and it's one of the worst forms of conversation possible. And I encourage you to stay away from it, because it is better to build people up when you're talking about them rather than tearing them down. Nice job.